The BBC breakfast presenter has managed to embarrass himself while interviewing the Transport Secretary over the net zero programme. Okay, these days it really shouldn't be that difficult to interview government ministers. Firstly, they keep scoring own goals anyway, and it's quite easy to point out their hypocrisy and all the failed policies of the government. But somehow, the BBC presenters, every time they want to interview government ministers, they manage to make the government minister look better than they are. So, Mark Harper was on BBC Breakfast and they were talking about the 20 miles per hour policy idea that's obviously promoted in Wales by Mark Drakeford, also supported by Sadiq Khan in London and many other authoritarian leaders. The issue with this is that the 20 miles per hour policy is supposed to be in the name of obviously saving lives, but also net zero for some reason. And everything's connected to net zero according to these people. But Mark Harper was questioned about the 20 miles per hour. Firstly, clearly the presenter doesn't know basic facts. Let's go.
Where have blanket 20 mile an hour speed limits happened?
Well, in Wales, the Labour government in Wales has imposed a blanket 20 mile an hour speed limit in all built up areas, regardless of local circumstances.
That's not the case, is it, Mark Harper?
People that voted Labour.
That's not the case, is it? Because not all 30 mile an hour zones have become 20. That's just not true.
It is. The default position in Wales now is that all of those 30 mile an hour zones have moved to 20. That's the way they've set it up.
Has that happened?
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Are you telling me that all 30 mile an hour limits in Wales have become 20?
Yes, the policy that the Welsh government have implemented.
Has it happened? Is what I'm asking you. Has it happened?
Is that all of those? Yes, it has.
Oh, that's so painful. So, firstly, do your homework. Secondly, the BBC still managed to edit this and post it on social media. That's where we found it. And the supporters of the BBC decided to go on it and quote retweet it on Twitter or X and say, government minister Mark Harper got owned by BBC presenter. No, because the BBC presenter didn't do his homework. They're all 30 mile per hour zones in Wales as a blanket policy. It should now be 20. Doesn't mean all roads will be 20, but all 30 mile per hour zones are 20. And the presenter at the end, he realized he messed up. It's like, but has it happened yet? And then the second part gets worse, because at the end, they basically, the way the mainstream media works is that they ask the same questions. They just rephrase the questions. They just have the same conversations over and over again. But at the end, the presenter tries to basically do a gusher thing with Mark Harper, the Transport Secretary, saying, but your boss, the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, claims that there's a war on motorists. Who is doing this war? So Mark Harper is going to be given an example, Mark Drakeford, but the presenter doesn't like it. Let's go.
Look at Rishi Sunak's comments, and he said I'm slamming the brakes on the war on motorists. Who has been conducting a war on motorists?
Well, there's a lot of commentary about this, and I just gave you a specific example. In Wales, the Welsh Labour government is implementing policies. They're building Labour in Wales,
actually,
which
do you know what? I don't want you to talk
is a
about
blueprint for Labour government.
You're the Transport Secretary.
You literally asked them, give an example in the country where a place or a politician or a group are doing a war on motorists, and he said, well, I did give you an example, Mark Drakeford, the Welsh government. And then he's like, actually, I don't want to talk about the Welsh government, but you literally asked to give an example of anyone doing it. I'm not, again, I don't want to sound like, these people make me sound like I'm defending this government, and I'm not, but I'm just defending logic. And there's clearly no logic at the heart of the BBC anymore. So firstly, just creating lies saying, but the 30 miles going to 20 hasn't happened, it's never going to happen, is it? But that was a lie. And then when he was like, well, give an example of the Prime Minister says there is a war on motorists, who's doing it? He literally said Mark Drakeford. He said, I don't really want to talk about Mark Drakeford. And then you wonder why people say the BBC is left wing. See? Anyway, let me know your thoughts. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.